Good morning, everyone. Today our topic is obesity in pregnancy. This is a very short topic, but important topic for Viva point of view, and sometimes short note has been asked. So, obesity in pregnancy. So, what do you mean by obesity in pregnancy? Right? Whenever the maternal weight is 90 kg, the weight of the mother is 90 kg and above, then it is considered as a 90 kg is considered as the upper limit, and whenever it is more than 90, then it is considered as obesity in pregnancy. So it is basically expressed in body mass index is looked for, and it is expressed as weight divided by height. Weight divided by height. So basically, BMI, body mass index, it should be more than or equal to 30 kg per meter square. So basically, it should be more than or equal to 30 kg per meter square. And whenever there is this range 30 kg and per meter square, then it is normal or almost upper limit, and above that it is considered as obesity. 30 kg and above 30 kg per meter square body mass index and above is considered as overweight and obese. So uh, basically, the condition of obesity means 90 kg of weight during pregnancy is the upper normal limit, and whenever it is more than that, and then it is known as obesity in pregnancy. So we see this as in body mass index. So body mass index 30 kg per meter square is considered as height, overweight. It 30 kg per meter square, it should be body mass index BMI, body mass index, it should be less than that. Basically, it should be less than 25 kg per meter square, and if at all it is 30 kg and above, then it is considered as overweight or obese. So what are the effects of this obesity on pregnancy? So obesity, it is having basically whenever the patient is obese, excessive fat deposition, adipose tissues are there, excessive fat deposition is there. Then basically, if at all if any female is not pregnant and obese, she is having very discomfort in walking also, and on slight exertion, slight walking, she will be dyspneic. And if at all she is having pregnancy with this obesity, then she will be dyspneic, and she is not comfort, she will not be comfortable, and she will be dyspneic on mild exertion, mild walking, mild physical activity. She will be dyspneic, difficulty in taking breathe. Again, there will be medical complications like hypertension, excessive cholesterol will be there in the body, and there will be hypertension. That cholesterol will get deposited on the endothelial layer, on the vascular endothelium, and it will cause hypertension. The patient will suffer hypertension even during pregnancy, and if at all obese before pregnancy also, and if during pregnancy also, this is the case. The case might be pregnancy induced hypertension. So she might suffer from gestational diabetes also, and all the complications of these conditions she will suffer from. Again, difficulty in diagnosis on examination, it will cause difficulty. So on per abdomen examination, the fat will be much more, so it is very difficult to diagnose what is the presentation, what is the lie. And again, fetal heart sound will be difficult to hear because of the fat deposition. So hearing of fetal heart sound and to calculate the fetal heart rate, it is difficult. Fetal macrosomia, because of the overnutrition, fetus will also be obese and big. So macrosomia means big size, so fetal macrosomia will be there. Again, there will be always there will be need for the sonography for the assessment. So clinically we cannot assess that much on per abdomen examination because of the fat. Increased risk of miscarriage and fetal malformation. A neural tube defect is common in such cases. Again, post maturity is also there because of the sedentary life and inactive physical inactivity. There might be chances of post maturity. IUFD and stillbirth, hypertensive disorder if at all she is getting, and gestational diabetes if at all she is suffering from, then that might land up in IUFD and stillbirth. Effects on labor. So during labor, what might be the effects of this? Obesity. So there may be generally abnormal uterine contractions and prolonged labor. So uterine inertia is seen. In obese patient, uterine inertia means inactivity of uterine muscle. Basically, physically patient is inactive. So even during pregnancy, patient has to be physically active. And if at all she is not there, so normal course will not be there, and abnormal uterine actions will be there, labor will be prolonged, and she will be in unnecessary agony and pain for long duration. And operative intervention cesarean. If at all patient is obese, then it is indicated that cesarean has to be done and normal labor has not to be tried. Shoulder dystocia might be there because of the big baby. We have already seen macrosomia, fetal macrosomia. So baby is big and overnourished. So shoulder dystocia might be there. Again, anesthetic hazard might be much more in such patients. So, if at all patient undergoes any complications during surgery, that is during cesarean, then it is difficult for the such patients to take emergency cares like intubation. If at all one has to do, then it is difficult because of the obesity and fat deposition. During puerperium, there are chances of UTI infection, urinary tract infection, PPH. There are much more because of the sedentary prolonged labor will be there, labor will be prolonged, then there are chances of PPH. Deep venous thrombosis because of the always remember this deep venous thrombosis. This is if at all after surgery, any surgery, cesarean section, if at all patient is not mobile, she is not physically active, and she is has restricted body movements, and she is on bed and not doing any physical activity. Somewhat physical activity is needed, and if at all she is not doing, then deep venous thrombosis might be there, and pulmonary embolism is the gross complication of this deep venous thrombosis. Poor wound healing because of circulation is poor, and lactation failure is there, might be there in such cases. Perinatal morbidity and mortality is very high in obese pregnant females. Again, increased risk of neural tube defects. You always remember in obesity because of the macrosomia, and IUGR and stillbirth are the complication of this hypertension in pregnancy. For management point of view, we have to look for the basically these are the high risk pregnancies. Pregnancy with obesity is high risk pregnancy, so proper antenatal care has to be given, and hospital delivery is ensured. And hospital delivery has to be done, and fat patient in advice during ANC. Carbohydrate and fatty diet should be avoided. Advise the patient to avoid carbohydrate and fatty diet and take proteinaceous diet. And again, insulin resistance generally there, so diabetes, gestational diabetes is there, so assessment of for this has to be done, and a woman should limit her weight gain during pregnancy. It should be average. If at all the patient is obese, then advise the patient not to gain the weight more than 8 kg, and it should be less than 8 kg, and there is no need of weight loss should not be done during pregnancy. So the because of the microsomia during labor, there might be shoulder dystocia. So this should be looked for, and obstructed labor has to be evaluated, and cesarean interference has to be done. Early mobilization and physical activity is very important, and heparin prophylaxis has to be given in obese patient to prevent DVT. Again, contraception is given for the proper maintenance of the gap between two pregnancies. Advise contraception for the females. So this is about the obesity in pregnancy. If at all you are having any query, mention in the comment box. I will try to solve it. Thank you. Thank you very much.